What's up guys, welcome back. Today we're diving into a board that promises to shake up the electric skateboard world forever. Introducing the all-new Propel Ruckus with the TKP setup. So the Propel Ruckus is all about control, power and precision. And I got an amazing opportunity to rip this board for 2 weeks in America and through New York City to really test out and see what this board can do. And some of these results you might find very surprising. So let's get to the specs. Now the first thing I want to talk about is the multi-layered carbon fibre and fiberglass deck, which is a perfect combination between flex and stability. The deck is also featuring a nice soft and comfortable 3mm cushiony grip tape, and with a deck size of 110cm by 42cm by 19cm. And what else can I say about this deck, other than it was an absolute joy to ride. The nice concave shape about it really felt like I was locked in at those higher speeds, but didn't give my feet any fatigue. I actually took this board out for 2 events in New York. First of all, which was this one, which was a NYC tour with the boys, with Drew, eSkate Unity and Jeffrey, who is one of the organising teams for PEV NYC. And the second event I brought this board to, which was the Broadway Bomb, which I ended up doing 30 to 40 miles in a single day without any foot fatigue, which shows that this deck is super comfortable for those long distance endurance style rides. Now if we're talking about distance, what is powering this board? Now this board is in a 12S 4P configuration with a watt hour of 864 watts using the Samsung 50S cell. Now I seem to find with that battery configuration that is a healthy balance between power, range and speed. And I seem to find it was a healthy balance for all the kind of situations that I brought it to. Being able to use it as a city runner, also using it for those long duration e-skate events where you're doing some serious miles. Now the charger that is paired with that battery does charge the board from 0 in about 4 hours. Now that is just within the Goldilocks window we look for on this channel for charging times, but I do wish they did feature a fast charger that you could use for those kind of long distance e-skate events to top up the board a little bit faster, because one thing I noticed from the Broadway Bomb is I was lacking behind a little bit on that range for those longer, more extreme riding days. Being a 4.5 amp charger, that is kind of like a suitable kind of mid-ground for all kind of scenarios, but I do wish they did have a 6 amp charger just to top it up a little bit when they have those extreme long distance ride days. Now one thing I want to make note of about that deck is actually it's featuring a flexible PCB, which means that it moves with the deck and not against it, because we've had some batteries in the past that are fused hard and then you lose all the benefits of that absolutely glorious deck. Propel have also shown an attention to detail with the enclosure of this board, which is featuring a CNC made chassis which is protecting the enclosure from rocks, hits and some scrapes when you're riding. Bearing in mind these are electric skateboards, and this is one of the first companies I've seen to feature that kind of custom protective layer as part of the enclosure. Now the battery is advertised at a range of 26 miles or 43 kilometers in distance. Now from my experience I pretty think that's on the mark with the expected range I was getting from my board. As a 100 kg rider I was getting more ranges around 22 miles in range, but as always I'm not riding this thing economically, and I truly believe that Propel has demonstrated real world conditions when advertising the estimated range of this board. Now the configuration of the Ruckus that I was riding for this trip was the TKP version, which are made from an absolutely gorgeous 6061 aluminum and CNC'd to perfection. One thing that's interesting about these trucks is actually featuring quite stiff, wider axles compared to most boards in this demographic. They're actually 12mm wide, which increases the strength and control when you're riding at faster speeds. And I could say that the trucks were so buttery smooth, I can't put into words how much I like these trucks. A lot of the time when you're riding some skateboards, when you're doing those harsh turns, they kind of have like a rebound effect, which is pushing you back up when you're turning this board at really tight carbs. And I could safely say these are one of the best trucks I've ridden throughout the year. They are super smooth, super comfortable, and super stable, which ticks every single box. Now the wheels that are paired with these trucks are 7-inch AT tyres, which have absolutely beautiful CNC hubs. Now the tyres themselves are average. They're kind of what we expect on a mainstream board nowadays, without any kind of real innovations going on here. And I would say it's the only part of the board which is average at best. And the only reason why I would say this is noticeable is due to the amazing innovation and premium parts all over this other board. The tyres are fine, they do what they need to do, but it'd be nice to see a new tyre design paired with these absolutely beautiful trucks. Now this board is also available in the Ruckus ADT cell, which stands for Adjustable Dampening Truck, which has a lot of refinements to really dial in your own truck for your own personal preference, but it does take some time to really refine that truck for your weight and riding style. So my question is to you, would you rather have a simple TKP truck or an ADT truck? Let me know in the comments below, what would you prefer? Now stability enables speed. You can't have a really high top speed unless you've got a very stable baseline to work with. Now with those trucks, this board is paired with twin 6374 motors, which can get an advertised top speed of 40 miles per hour. Or 65 kilometers an hour. Now I truly believe that that top speed is possible, because I realized when I was out riding this board one day, I was whipping it, having a great time with a huge smile on my face, looked down and I was doing 37 miles an hour without even realizing. That is only due to those absolutely gorgeous TKP trucks and give me a stability and confidence knowing that I will be controlled and safe at those higher speeds. Now the ESC that comes with this board is a very impressive 120 amp FOC Lingy ESC, which was buttery smooth. It was really nice to have that kind of power and speed with all those different components merging together to have a nice powerful ride through the city and being able to whip it through the hustle and bustle of NYC. Now some of the accessories that you can buy for this board is the front headlights and the brake lights. Now when I was riding this thing for the Broadway Bomb, being out all day, it was nice to have the lights built into this board, knowing that if there was charge in the board that the lights are going to work and keep you safe. Now these lights are very bright. I tell you, they are definitely worth the upgrade if you're going to get your own board. Now let's talk about the remote. Now the remote is featuring a nice color display and has different colors depending on what ride modes you are in. So if you tap once, it goes level 1, and if you tap up to 4 times, it goes to the maximum power of this board, which is a nice thing to have, because sometimes you want to just quickly snap to the power that you want. It's the first time I've seen a remote do this, where you don't just press one button to change between the modes, you actually tap it an amount of time in a short duration to get to the designated speed and power you're looking for, which I was super impressed with. Another thing about the remote is it does actually show you what the voltage of the battery is. Now this came key when I was going out for the Broadway Bomb, and I was getting a little bit confused with how much battery I actually had left. It actually pointed out the voltage of the battery, which gave me a more of a true estimated range of how much charge I actually had left in the battery, which inevitably saved me getting to the last stop for the group ride. But there was one thing I have to talk about this remote. While I was in New York City with all the different radio waves and all that noise with all the Wi-Fi signals going off, the remote was constantly telling me that it was disconnected. However, it didn't disconnect once. What I believe what was happening was they were switching lines onto new frequencies throughout the duration of riding this board. It did freak me out, I'm not gonna lie, but the board stayed connected the whole time. I believe it was just notifying me how much noise there was with the Wi-Fi signals in the very busy New York City streets. Now the weight of this board is only 18 kilograms, which I believe is a healthy balance between power and range. With those CNC trucks, it actually reduces the weight ever so slightly, but shows a really good healthy balance for people who fancy like an urban board. Something for the city, something to take home, and something to maybe bring onto the train. But the weight is very respectable. Now with all those CNC parts, higher power, and really bespoke deck, how much does this board cost? Now this board is a surprisingly $1,299, or just under £1,000 for all that performance and quality. I feel like this board is for someone who's in like a dense urban environment or wants something relatively lightweight, high performance, and has all the bells and whistles out the box. And from my trip to America, I seem to find this is the board I went to the most for all the short trips, little shred sessions, and having a nice little whip when I wanted to shred it. Overall, I think Propel have made a really solid competitive board at an absolutely brilliant price. And if you want to get one yourself, there'll be a link in the description below for you to get your own board with an affiliate code which does support the channel and saves you a couple of bucks. And I truly believe that the Propel Ruckus could be in the contender for one of the best boards of 2024. Anyway, that's everything for today. You take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.